What's up, everybody? Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. Yeah, that's the day that it is. Goodness, they all run together during this quarantine. But yeah, how you guys doing? Hope you're enjoying yourselves, and I'm enjoying myself because we got spoilers today. We got some stupid ones. They revealed some stupid cards today, and I'm excited. And actually, let's get into it with our first one. Ooh, actually, before that, on the 15th, starting at 8 a.m. Pacific time, I believe. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for me. There's actually going to be the Ikoria event. So I'm going to be streaming it. Sponsored by Watsy. I have to say that legally. Yada yada. But yeah, so if you guys want to twitch.tv/same username I have here. I think my Twitch is linked in my description, or it will be. So if you guys want to check me out, let me know. Submit any deck lists you want to see me play. We'll have access to all the cards. And we'll be brewing like a madman. So check me out there. But for now, let's learn about the cards we're going to be brewing with. So first we got, it's in Japanese, so don't know if it's direct translation, but we got Whirlwind of Thoughts. It costs 1 blue, red, white for an enchantment. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, draw a card. Oh my goodness. So this is definitely an excellent engine piece. There's plenty of decks where you can play this and every card, except for like 2 non-creature spells in your deck, will, so pretty much 98% of your non-land cards will draw you a card when you play it, which is stupid. This works really well on curve in the decks that want it. So Jeskai will have Deafening Clarion to sweep the board turn 3, play this turn 4. Elspeth Conquers Death turn 5, draw a card. Seems pretty good. A lot of really powerful 5-mana Planeswalkers right now that you can curve into. You can play Sarkhan. You could play, I guess you don't want to be playing Luca in a deck like this. But I mean, I don't know, maybe. If you're like that Jeskai combo deck where you make tokens off of your Planeswalkers and then you use Luca's -2 to get Endrace Forerunners and win that way. That could be kind of interesting. You only have 2 creatures that way. Otherwise, I mean, you would be playing the same number of non-creature or creature spells as like a deck with Dream Trawler as its finisher, you know? But yeah, this is pretty ridiculous. People are saying to put this in a Fires deck. Maybe. I could see this. It's a powerful thing on turn 4. But when you're drawing that many cards, I kind of want to be able to play more than 2 cards a turn. And also, you're probably going to want to be playing a lot of cheaper cards. That way you can really get the benefits of drawing the cards. So, yeah, this is a really powerful effect. This would be cool. So that's where I'm thinking, like, maybe instead of blue-red Phoenix, I could see people going Jeskai Phoenix. Just for this card, to be honest. And the fact that I just can't get over it says, like, usually cards like this are like instant or sorcery, but this is non-creature. So you play your Teferi, draw a card, bounce a creature, draw a card. You play, oh my goodness, yeah, it's ridiculous. If you do put in a Fires deck, then extra copies of Fires are actually a cantrip, so they're not dead cards. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I think this is a super powerful engine piece for a lot of Jeskai decks. The dedicated non-creature ones. I don't think this will fit into like the mutate ones. But yeah, definitely good. Alright, next we got Slither Wisp. Don't know if that's the real name, but it's in Japanese as well. But it costs blue, black, black for a 3/2 Elemental Nightmare. And this card will certainly be in my nightmares. With Flash, it has whenever you cast another spell with Flash, draw a card and each opponent loses 1 life. Well, you guys know I love me and my janky brews. You know, you love me, my mid-range, my tap-out decks. And Flash decks are the bane of my existence. Anyone who's seen me play 5-color Niv or something like that. Anytime I play Simic Flash, I just get dead inside. And Flash getting this many new pieces really terrifies me. And people are hating on this like, oh, it's a 3/2 body, it dies to a stomp. And I'm like, dude, with that's the whole point of Flash, right? You can play around that type of stuff. Mono red, if they don't tap out turn 2, I don't play into it, you know? I don't play my Growth Chamber Guardian or my, I don't know, whatever. I was going to say Paradise Druid, but that's hexproof. You know what I mean. I don't tap out for my threat that I want to protect. My Biomancer's Familiar in that Janky Brew deck. You wait. You wasted 2 mana on a stomp. And then with Flash, if they just go to stomp your face, then you just quench it. And then you play, or if they stomp your face and you're on the play, you have 3 lands. Then you just play this after they play that. Like, oh man. Yeah, I don't think that holds up because, and even if, right? Let's say they tap out for like an Annex, and then you place it with a Wisp, you untap, and they untap and shock it. Worst case scenario, A, we have that counter spell that counters things that target your creatures. So, A, you could do that, draw a card. Not off this flash, but that one already draws you a card. Or worst case scenario, what if you just play Spectral Sailor or Brandborn Cutthroat with Spectral Sailor? Both of them now replace themselves. Like, that's so busted. And I was literally, the first time I read this, I thought it drained you for 1 life, like a Midnight Reaper type effect, and even then I was still on board. The fact it increases your clock on your opponent is ridiculous. That's the one thing that I think might hold back the Dimir version over the Simic version of Flash, where Simic has a much better clock from things like Nissa and Nightpack Ambusher. I was thinking Dimir might struggle with that, but this will be the extra, 2 to 4 points of damage you might need to close the game out. One thing I don't like about it is that it doesn't have evasion, but you do have a couple of mutate creatures you can put onto this. You do have the Dirge Bat, where you can mutate onto this. And that'll give it flying, that'll give it evasion. But also for plenty of decks, like unless you're doing mono red or something like that, half the time it's not too hard to keep the battlefield clear. Like in my mid-range decks where I tap out for turn 2 Omen of the Sea, turn 3 Setessan Champion, turn 4 Setessan Champion because you countered my turn 3 one. I mean, you just do 2 counter spells and this guy's still attacking for free. So it's not horrible. And my goodness, yeah, this is just such ridiculous card advantage. I think even if it bites the bullet like the turn after you play it, if you play it right, you're still going to get 2 cards worth of value out of it. And you're still adding to the board when you're getting the card value out of it. So I think this card is disgusting, and I think it will absolutely see play in the Dimir Flash decks. Whether or not they're better than Simic, I don't know. If the mana base gets good enough, you might even see some Sultai Flash decks. That'd be the kind of sick brew I would get around. Don't think it's good enough because there's too many double mana costs in it, but I wouldn't fault someone for trying. Alright, next we got another ultimatum. Immaculate Ultimatum. Double blue, double white, triple red for sorcery. Target player gains 5 life. Immaculate Ultimatum deals 5 damage to any target, and you draw 5 cards. The biggest thing that was making me think maybe this is a thing is with 3 mana Teferi. You could play this instant speed. If this wasn't instant, I'd be kind of higher on it. But even then, I don't think it's that amazing. So the way I would argue against this is the Krasis argument, right? So when people were first starting with Krasis, they're like, okay, well, it's 4 mana for a 2/2 draw a card. That's not that good. But 6 mana for a 4/4 draw 2 cards, that's pretty decent. And then you go up the chain, right? And all of them built together is what makes Krasis good. Each of them individually isn't amazing. And that's where Expansion Explosion gets kind of its bread and butter from, Whereas, you play a 7 mana Explosion, deal 3 damage, draw 3 cards. That's not very good at all. But when you draw it on turn 10, you can deal 6 damage, draw 6 cards. Or if you can abuse it because it's an instant, and you can deal 15 damage, draw 15 cards, then that's when it gets pretty good. All those different iterations together, and has an extra sort of viability, versatility. There we go. That's the word. Extra bit of versatility because it has the expansion part of it, where you can copy a Clarion if you need to kill a bunch of 6 toughness dudes, or you can copy your opponent's growth spiral if you need to, keep tempo. This doesn't have any of that. You're locked in, and when I say this costs 7 mana, that's really generous, because there's plenty of times where we're going to have 3 blue sources, 2 red sources, and 2 white sources, and you gotta wait till turn 8 or turn 9. This is even harder to cast, and I don't think it's worth the 5 life. I think you have other ways to gain life if you need to. Even the new Narset can gain you a ton of life if you need it. Zenith Flare is a card if you're building your deck around it. You can gain a ton of life that way. Deafening Clarion, if you have creatures, is a way for you to gain life. I don't think the life gain... Let me put it this way. 5 damage and 5 cards for 7 mana, you would say, oh, I'd rather play Expansion Explosion. And so then, if someone says, yeah, but it has the 5 life gained on it, tacked on it, I would say, well, you have other ways to gain life, so I don't think you need to make that. I don't think you need to make that sacrifice, you know? So I'm actually legitimately not very impressed. Don't get me wrong, 5 cards is super powerful, and when this gets cast, it'll still be a good effect. I just think 2/3 of the time, 3/4 of the time, if someone had an expansion explosion in the deck and they cast it instead, I think they're doing fine. This is better for wish boards, Fey wishes, don't get me wrong, but, you know, expansion explosion in the decks that want it will probably do better. So not super impressed with this one. Alright, well next we got Unpredictable Cyclone. 3 red for an enchantment. If a cycling ability of another non-land card would cause you to draw a card, instead, exile cards from the top of your library into the exile card that shares a type with the cycled card. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost, then put the exile cards that weren't cast this way on the bottom of your library in random order, and it cycles for 2 mana. Well, this is pretty gross. This is like the, you know, possibility storm type of stuff where it's like 5 mana crazy red enchantment. First of all, the fact you cast it is insane. Instead of putting it on the battlefield. I guess that allows you to have stuff that's non-permanents. People were looking for a way to play the giant turtle. What is it, Yarito or whatever? I think you found it. We could do like a Jeskai enchantments deck. We could play the one we just saw where you draw cards for non-creature cards. And then play this. And then, like, this is like the payoff for Zenith Flare, right? Where all of your, you know, bread and butter cards, like pretty decent. You're playing it just for the cycling cost. Because there's some creatures you're going to play just for 1 mana just to be able to cycle them. So if you can do that and then just have one other super powerful creature, that'd be pretty interesting. Like, what if you have a ton of cycling cards? Man, I'm just exploding right now. Sorry, I'm just going so many different directions. You have a bunch of, like, cheap cycling cards that are non-creature, right? Doesn't really matter if you want to cycle those and hit another one. That could be pretty powerful, whatever. And then you have a couple, like, 1 mana cycling creatures and some Dream Trawlers, right? Or you go that route I said before where you just play the Yarito. He is a legendary, so if you get to the point where you've cycled it 4 times, and then you have this out, you don't really get 2 of them out and get to attack for 16. But that's fine. Just getting 1 out, I think, is enough. But yeah, or even just, I don't know, if you concentrate to, like, you know, mainly enchantments and instant spells or something, and then you just keep yourself to the Jeskai ultimatum, and then just a couple sorceries that you can cycle, I think that's a really powerful effect as well. So yeah, and the fact that this cycles itself too, like, my goodness. Which means if this is your only enchantment, you could even just, if you're running 3 or 4, right? You have 1 in the battlefield, and then you don't want to spend 5 mana to cast your other one, so you get to do it for 2 mana. Like, what? They've been really pushing these, like, cascade type effects, and I think that they're pretty fun, especially when you're doing it digital and you have to flip each card individually when you know you're only hitting 1 card. When you have to do it on paper, that's kind of annoying, but pretty exciting. Yeah, I think this is actually pretty powerful. Granted, you probably want to be able to get value off of it the turn you play it, so you might need to wait until you have, like, either a counterspell or or just, you know, play it on turn 7, and you can have 2 1-mana cyclers for those payoffs. So yeah, I think this is a powerful deck. You can brew around. Tier 2 at least, but this card's fun, if not amazing. Okay, next we got one of the cards that I'm maybe most excited for out of the new... Oh, no. Second most. They're at the end. They're coming. We got Oda Joiner of Forces. This costs 2 red/white for a 4/4 legendary human warrior. Whenever a non-human creature you control attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. 6 of them. You may put a human creature card from among them onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. It gains indestructible until end of turn. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. What the heck, dude? What the heck? Like, so people are like, oh man, it's going to be super hard if you're, you know, the ratio of human and non-humans. Which, sure. But just think of it this way. If you built a deck where it's likely in your starting hand you have either human or non-human. That's pretty much what you're looking at here. You're like drawing a new hand of cards to pick a creature from. That's insane. And the fact that she doesn't have to attack too. Like what? Like what if you go like turn 1 Arboreal Grazer, right? Turn 2 Paradise Druid, I don't know. Whenever a non-human you control attacks. And it's not one or more? Excuse me? Okay, well let's just go with that scenario laid out, right? So, turn 3, you play Paradise Druid, you have 1 other mana. Turn 4, you don't even need to do that, right? Even just playing a Grazer and something else, play this, attack with a Boreal Grazer. Trade it for a human creature, right? Or you wait till like turn 5 and you have an Arboreal Grazer and a Paradise Druid. I don't know, I'm going green, I'm just thinking ramp. But there are some powerful humans in the green, you know, the green-white spectrum. Or you could go Jund with this. There's some powerful black-green humans. And there's definitely some powerful black-green non-humans. But you have to have 2 of these out. Play this lovely lady. Attack. And then you get 2 humans out attacking, and they're indestructible. If it didn't have indestructible, I'd be like, a lot of humans, their stat line's not great. They're good because their abilities. But no. They get indestructible. Like, what? What? And it triggers on each individual one. If you attack with 3 creatures, you get to do this 3 times. Like, excuse me? And she's a 4/4 for 4, you know, she can get in there if she wants to. Like, my gosh, I'm trying to think of amazing humans in Standard. We've already seen some spoiled. So the human lords are kind of you know? Because that's kind of sketchy. Like having a human lord in a deck where you require to play a lot of non-humans. That's kind of rough. So I think the hardest part about this will be the deck building part. But I think the ability is definitely powerful enough to take advantage of. Like this is just some powerful stuff. And you get the ETB triggers of any of the humans. I mean, worst case scenario, man, put down a Charming Prince. Blink something. Like, if you're attacking with a really weak creature, I don't know, get a Charming Prince, blink the creature that you don't want to die, the non-human one. Or, I don't know, dude, if you want to go crazy big and go like Jeskai, right? Get like an Asian of Treachery off of this. I don't know, I'm thinking big. I'll have to look more for like human payoffs. But, my gosh. Definitely brewing around this card. This seems disgusting if you can get it going off. Which doesn't seem that hard. Just have 2 creatures on the battlefield by the time you play it. And have them attack. You could even do like Naya Zoo. Where you can have like a Pelt Collector. That's an elf, right? Paradise Druid. That's an elf druid. You got the adventure creatures. Which aren't as good because you kind of want to get the value off their adventure side. But, well no, they're great. I was thinking, well, you'd put them into play, but no, they're not humans. So you could play your Stomp Giant, bro. I can never Bone Crusher Giant. You could play him. You could Stomp turn 2, play him turn 3, play her turn 4, attack with him, and then reveal, I don't know, Edgewall Innkeeper if you want to go that route, or just some other ridiculous. This card, man, this card, I'm impressed. I'm just impressed. This is the type of value I think Boros should be getting, and I think it's cool, it's interesting, it's powerful, but it's interesting because of the deck building restriction. So, A+, Watsy. A+. It could be terrible. You know, it's 4 mana 4/4 do nothing if they keep up with you, but if they don't, you could just win. You know? Dude, Questing Beast turn 4, this turn 5. Just saying. Just saying. Alright, next we got Keenan, Bhandar Prodigy. It costs green and a blue for a 2/2 legendary creature human druid. Whenever you tap a non-land permanent for mana, add 1 mana of any type that permanent produced. Then pay 5 green blue, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a non-human creature card from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom in a random order. I think this card's pretty good. Pretty good. If we had Llanowar Elves, that'd be disgusting. I think this will have a bigger impact on historic formats, obviously. What is it? Not historic. You know what I mean. Older formats. Extended? Whatever. Historic, modern, legacy. Let me just put it this way. Turn 1, you play Gosh, what is the card called? The one that filters snow. Are you serious right now? No, there's no way I'm forgetting this right now. Modern snow. Do. Sorry guys, you're gonna have to deal with me on this one. Do. Arkham's Astrolabe. Thank you. Already banned from Pauper, right? Because it's so good. Play that. Turn 2. Play this guy. Turn 3. Your Astrolabe now taps for mana as well as fixing mana. That's stupid. Not sure what format it's legal in, but I saw people talking about Basalt Monolith. That goes infinite. Just infinite colorless mana. On turn 3. No big deal. Like, what the heck, dude? I saw someone lay out, this is a nut draw, obviously, but someone laid out that you can untap on turn 3 with 14 mana. And, in certain formats, I think Commander, they were saying. That's pretty disgusting. Because a lot of mana rocks and stuff, they're built to where, you don't net mana or you don't break even. This guy can let you break even on those. That's pretty crazy. Let's not even talk about like mana creatures in older formats where you have Birds of Paradise or Llanowar Elves or stuff like that, where you can play this turn 2 and then have an access to like 2 extra mana. That's pretty ridiculous. For standard though, here's the thing. In standard, right? Growth Spiral's powerful, Urro's powerful. Those aren't the type of things that this is going to work well with. But with Mutate being a thing, we might be moving into more creature-heavy ramp. So our Boreal Grazer and Paradise Druid will be better than Growth Spiral in a deck that's playing Brokos, or the Teamer Apex person, or any of the other Mutate cards, or you have like that 3 mana, the dude who mutates for 3 mana that's like a rampant growth. So if we're moving that direction, this could be interesting. It is a 2/2 for 2, dies to almost all the removal in the format, and you want to stick around for a couple turns to get some value off of it. But it ramps itself and is a mana sink. It enables you to ramp and it's a mana sink. I think that's a pretty good combination. And there's no shortage of non-human creature cards in Simic. Grazer's not human. Paradise Druid's not human. Urro's not human. Cavalier of Thorns isn't human. I think Aged of Treachery is probably a human. So not him, but Thassa's not human. Yeah. Pretty powerful. Just depends on if it lines up in the format. I think if the non-creature or non-human, if creature ramp takes off to deal with Mutate, I think this guy could see some play. Otherwise, I don't really like him. Alright, last but not least, we have the Tri-Lands. Let's go, dude. Let's go. Tri-Lands? Are you kidding me? Oh, wait, we have one more after this. But, dude, Tri-Lands? Come on, man. Like, oh, it's so beautiful. I've wanted Tri-Lands so bad. For my cube, I want another cycle of Tri-Lands. Because you best believe my cube is going to be multicolor, dude. And you can cycle them when you draw them late. Like, that's just good value, man. That's good value right there. So yeah, this will help. I've been saying to you guys, heard me saying all the time, like, well, I don't know if the mana is going to be good depending on the rare set of lands, or if after rotation, I don't know if 3 colors is really going to be doable. They got us. They got us, guys. You kidding me? You know, enter the battlefield tapped is a big deal, but for an extra color of fixing, I will take that all day. All day. Scry 1 Temples is nice, but doing this and being able to cycle in the late game, this is the thing, man. That's the thing with the Scry lands. You could play them like, you know, turn 1 and try to hit more land drops, yada yada. Late game, you're like, okay, well, I could Scry away land. That's almost like, if you do that a couple times, it's almost like drawing a card. This literally draws you a card. So, beautiful. They're obviously going to be good. I'm obviously going to put them in like 99% of the decks I play. And I am very happy. I'm very happy. And they have extra synergies in like the cycling decks. The Jeskai one, I think, will probably have the most utility from that cycling effect. So, yeah, don't sleep on that, ladies and germs. But our actual last card of the day is another rare land. Bhandar's Enclave. It could tap to add a colorless, or you could pay 3 and tap it to draw a card. Activate it only if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. That's pretty good. I could totally see, especially with some tri-lands, you can then kind of sneak your way into 1 or 2 of these. That's pretty sick value, bro. With Wilderness Wreck, the Flash versions of Wilderness Wreck, this could actually be pretty decent. Maybe instead of that, the Scry Castle. It's kind of ambitious, but I mean, dude, you have your Uros, you have your Nightpack Ambushers. If you're playing Brineborn Cutthroat, that gets to power 4 or greater pretty quick. I don't know. I could see myself, let me put it this way. People put these in decks where it's wrong to play it. But I think there's more decks where this could be valuable than people think. But yeah, dude, just put this in your Simic deck. Hit it off with Cavalier Thorns. It's pretty much a combo right there, right? Any Sultai deck, like all the mutate creatures activate this pretty much. Well, 90% of the playable ones activate this. I mean, also with companion creatures, it gets a lot more likely that you can have power 4 or greater. 90% of the companion creatures have power 4 or more. That's a thing to consider as well. Man, it doesn't even enter the battlefield tapped, so it's just the mana that's a consideration. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I think this is pretty sick and a good payoff for even just going like, 2 colors, 1 color. Man, do you play this in mono red? That's the question. You play so many cheap spells that not being able to double spell on like turn 1 could be a problem. But let's see. Steamkin activates it. Annex activates it. Bonecrusher Giant activates it. That's 12 cards right there. If you Rimrock Knight any of your 2-power creatures, then you can draw off of it. I don't know. I might see myself sneaking 1 or 2 of these into mono red. Could be ambitious. Could be. But I don't know, dude. Maybe change your build a little bit to play around it. If you play your Phoenix, if it's like super late game and you have your Phoenix and you pump it, you can draw off of this. That's super late game, but hey, sometimes the games come to that, dude. I've lost on like turn 9 to mono red. It happens. Yeah. Super powerful card. This is a very exciting day of spoilers. I think I'm most excited to play with the Flash creature, not to play against it. The Winota, the red-white human, and the Tri-lands most of all. Let me know what you guys are excited for. Again, let me know if you have any decks you want me to brew around and play with. I'm going to stream on Wednesday the 15th. Let me know. More than happy to do that for you guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys on Monday. Finally get a break from the daily uploads. Let me know if you enjoyed them. All right, hope you have a wonderful day.